Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Angela Vorpahl of angelavorpahl.com, and I am a law school strategy coach. So I work primarily with incoming 1Ls to help you guys get the grades to start a career on your own terms. And in today's video, I thought it would be fun to tackle 5 incredibly annoying but true facts about law school. So let's dive in. Incredibly annoying fact number 1, everyone in law school is smart. Which means that just because you were at the top of your class in college doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be at the top of your class in law school. In fact, statistically, only 5 to 10 to 15 to 25% of people can be at the top of their law school class, depending on how you define top of your law school class. And I know this one sucks to hear, but it also doesn't mean that you can't be at the top of your law school class. It just means that it's not going to happen by default. It's going to take a dedicated plan of action to really position yourself for those limited number of grades that professors give out in each class. Incredibly annoying fact number 2, being a good writer doesn't mean you're a good legal writer. And this is something that I had to learn the hard way because I came into law school from a political science major background in college. And so we wrote a lot. And by that point, I had what I thought was a really strong foundation. I thought I was really, really strong as a writer. And for most of us heading into law school, we come from liberal arts backgrounds, right? So history, English, philosophy, political science. And so we do quite a bit of writing. And so when we get to law school, it's a bit of an unexpected step to realize that legal writing is much less reflective in the way I think that liberal arts major writing is, and much more structured, formulaic, and logical. And so it's not that we can't be great legal writers, but it's just important to know that that is a skill that has to be developed just like any other skill. The other good news too is that if you come from a non-writing heavy background in college, but your college major was something very structured and formulaic, like a STEM major, for example, you can be a very strong legal writer, and you also might naturally be a strong legal writer because those frameworks and those structures match so well. Incredibly annoying fact number 3. Your 1L grades are the most powerful. And I actually hate talking about this because it feels like such a buzzkill and it feels like it puts so much pressure on you as a brand new law student. But I would be doing you guys a disservice if I didn't explain why 1L grades are much more powerful than 2L and 3L grades. And the reason has nothing to do with you and everything to do with the way that law firms hire. So when we're talking about the law firm hiring process in law school, the biggest concentration of hiring happens in a process called OCI, or on-campus interviewing, which takes place at the beginning of your 2L year. And when we're talking about the types of law firms and legal organizations that come to campus, we're talking about bigger law firms and larger legal organizations that are in a place to hire you for your 2L summer associateship, but also in a way that those associateships are designed to result in a full-time job offer when you graduate. And because those particular legal entities value grades arguably above all else, or at least as a way to qualify you for the initial interview, A, and B, the only grades you have at the beginning of your 2L year are your 1L grades. 1L grades are disproportionately powerful because of when that hiring process happens. Now, it is definitely true that not everybody gets their first job out of law school through OCI, and statistically, the majority of us don't get our first job out of law school through OCI. But if you are someone who is interested in keeping your options open and keeping as many doors and possibilities available to you as possible, there's no downside to going all in your 1L year, and even prior to 1L year, getting prepped and knowing what those strategies look like to position yourself for the grades you want. That way, when OCI comes around, you have the option of whether or not you want to participate. Incredibly annoying fact number 4, networking for when you become a lawyer can actually start before day 1 of law school. And I know this is another one that nobody wants to hear, myself included in the past, because that potentially adds another to-do list item on your to-do list. And especially for those of you guys who already have a lot of moving parts before you start law school, I know that this can sound overwhelming. So don't add it to your to-do list unless you have the time and energy to do it. But if you do, you're actually in a really valuable position as an incoming 1L to start to reach out to lawyers and make these connections, because Lawyers love giving advice to new law students, and you can use that connection point as a way to start building these relationships, as a way to start reaching out to lawyers, to really come at it from an energy of learning about the type of work they do, how they got to where they are, and what their law school experience was like. And so the best way I've ever seen this done is through a process called informational interviews. And if you guys have never heard of that, which is where I was when I started law school, definitely check out this YouTube video I did with Dave Straussberg, where he walks step by step by step through the process of informational interviews, how you start reaching out to lawyers, how you have these conversations, because this is the most powerful organic way to start building these relationships early in a way that can create potential mentorships in the future and potential internship and job opportunities in the future as well. And so I know what you're thinking. This probably sounds like a huge project to take on. So I encourage you guys to challenge yourselves to just do one. The first time you do anything is going to be the most difficult. And so if you can do just one, each one thereafter is going to be progressively easier. Incredibly annoying fact number 5. Grades are not the end game. Building the career and life that you want after law school is. And I know it's sort of interesting because as a law school strategy coach, I spend my days helping law students learn the strategies and the action steps to position themselves for the grades that they want. And the reason that that is so fascinating to me is because what I have found is that the grades piece in law school is the biggest black box for people. It creates the most uncertainty, the most stress, and feels really disempowering when you don't know how to use your time and energy to go after the goal that is really important to you. That being said, I always make sure to remind my students that grades are just a means to an end. They are a tool to use to set yourself up for the career and build the life that you want. And what's really important about that is this separation between self and grades. Because if you can see your grades as a marketing asset, essentially as this tool, then you can put the grades in a category where they belong, which is among all of the other marketing assets that you have to bring to the table and the value that you can bring to a law firm, a legal organization, and your future clients. Because you are smart, you're scrappy, you're resourceful, and you have so much to bring to the legal community and the legal profession. So just remember that even if grades are a priority of yours, if you know you want to go all in and you know you want to show up for yourself in that way, that is wonderful. But grades are but one tool to go about getting that first job out of law school and building the career and the life that you want. So if you guys are heading into law school and you're curious about what it takes to build out a rock solid law school grade strategy, definitely check out my free Beat the Curve guide here. It walks through the 5 steps that I have seen be game changers for new law students really looking to position themselves for the grades that they want. I'll definitely drop the link in the description below too, so you guys can grab it. And with that, I hope that this was helpful, and I will see you guys in the next one.